Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another tapped out video. Now this one I did promise when I did my top 10 best events. Now this one is my top 10 worst events, so there's going to be a lot of rants in this one. So if you don't like good old rants, then you may not want to watch this video. But let's get into number 10, but just first I want to thank Apperson. Two, I don't know how many twos there are, but a lot of twos, because their comment was huge. And that was a nice rant. That was a great rant, especially when they got into Clash of Clunes and the Easter. But now I'm going to go for my list. So we'll start off with number 10. So number 10 is Krusty Land. Now, the Krusty Land in itself is okay. I like that. I like the idea, but the reason I put it as number 10 is because they devoted this whole new section of land. Like, it was completely, like, it wasn't even a part of your original town. It was a whole new, it's a whole new thing, isn't it? A whole new bit of land, like it's a brand new town. And the fact they did that made me think, okay, so this is going to be a long-lasting thing. They're going to be updating this in like 2 years to come. But they didn't do that. They added some, buildings in Christmas and a building in Halloween and a building in Valentine's Day, but that was it. They have decorations that can go into Krusty Land, and that's okay. I think that's a cheapy kind of way of adding stuff, but whatever. But I was expecting them to have little updates, because honestly, this Krusty Land storyline, it takes a bit to get through, but not enough time for me, because didn't take me that long. It was just the tooth chipper stuff that getting the tooth chipper was really hard, but apart from that, the other things were really easy to get, and I was non-premium then. I think what they needed to really do is add a little update, say like every 2 months, add a little update, whereas a quest line, maybe you get one building and a character or a couple of decorations or something. So what I'm going to do for that, I'm going to do a video with an ideas of what they could, I know I said this in the past, but I'm going to try and get some ideas for what they could add in Krusty Land in the future, so that will be a video I'll be doing soon. So let's get on to number 9. So number 9, I've put the Springfield Heights. Honestly, at first, I really liked the idea of the update. I thought it was really cool, especially with the whole, instead of just adding Cookie Quan and the Red Blaze of Realty, I thought it'd be a really cool idea to, add them in and have some kind of, real estate or, buying and selling houses. But I think they went too far with it. Most of the decorations are really ugly looking, like the golden walls. Like, they don't look, okay, yes, they're golden, and it's kind of, to show off this wealth, but it doesn't look right. They don't look right. They don't look like, maybe like a marble wall maybe would have been a bit better, but the golden wall, and you had all these golden plants and all this other stuff. Most of the decorations are nice. The whole upgrade system for me is a bit wonky. I like the idea of the prizes, how they take a long time. You have to build up your Springfield Heights if you really want those prizes. They are a bit hard to get, in my opinion, but I still haven't got the final prize yet. So I'm, because I don't want to skip it all in donuts. I'm trying to do it legitly. But if you want to skip it with donuts, though, it's impossible. You need to spend loads of donuts to skip it, which is the only problem, I think. But that's just, I suppose it's kind of, because it's kind of like a haha to hackers, because it's gonna basically waste all their donuts and skipping it. So I've put it as number 9. Number 8. Now, I've put the Pride Month as number 8 because, honestly, this was a big time in America. It's a big thing in American history with the whole gay marriage being legalized, and I thought they should have made a bigger event out of it, especially when this is happening, and I think what they should have done, if it was actually legalized, they should have because there was the chance it wouldn't have been legalized. When it was legalized, I think they should have made a load of released a load of prizes to celebrate. They could have made a really nice update, and a really kind of what you want to call it, what's the word, eye-opening, making us more aware, and very kind of supporting the gay community kind of thing. And there is loads. I'm not there's basically a whole gay section in the Springfield town. In Simpsons, there is a whole gay section too. I think it's like Gay Town or something. I don't even know, or Gay Street or something like that. There is basically a load of buildings that are in this kind of gay part of Springfield, and there's loads of characters. There's John. I don't know his second name. There's a couple of gay characters they could have added, but instead we just got Roscoe and the Steam thing, which is a cool thing, but they kind of did a joke with gays in that episode, so it didn't really look like amazing. Plus it was donuts, it was kind of, you know, it was overpriced, and we got some cool flags and some cool rainbow coloured flags and rainbow coloured trees that were non-premium. But you know, the fact is they should have made a bigger update out of it, is what I'm trying to get at. So number 7 is the St. Patrick's Day 2015, and honestly 2014 as well, I would say as well, just because again, they just hashed out and they added, they added a few new things, but they didn't add, like 2014 they added the the Shamrock Cafe with the little other leprechaun. They could have added the orange leprechaun. I remember he was quite a big deal when he fight. It was the Catholic fighting the Protestant kind of thing. They could have added the orange leprechaun, and they could have done a cool, maybe even added tasks with him, and maybe added tasks with the other leprechaun, just like as a kind of to be nice. There aren't too many Irish characters in The Simpsons, so I understand why. But obviously there is Colin, the one from the movie, the Lisa's boyfriend. They could have added, or Lisa's like love, the one she fancies. They could have added him or something. But yeah, they didn't. Which I mean, it wasn't too bad. I just wish they made it a bit bigger. So number 6 is, honestly for me, and some people are going to be pissed at me for putting this, but it's Christmas 2014. I didn't like Christmas 2014 whatsoever. I think it was too much, it was too hard to get, for me it was too hard to get the prizes, and they added, they didn't add enough, well, I don't know, I can't say they didn't add enough characters, but, they did add Santa Claus, and they added, the King Winter and Zatori and all that. So they added some cool characters, and they did kind of, re-release this, the whole kind of the daily thing was kind of cool. I just honestly, compared to the other Christmas updates, I didn't like it, and that's the reason I've put it here. It's just because comparing it to the other updates, I think it was kind of bad. It might just because they're running out of stuff, but honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the whole Elfie thing. I didn't really like that. So I've put that at number 6. So number 5, this is kind of cheating because I didn't know what else to put, but I'm going to put all recent tie-ins, episodes from about, I don't even know, but basically all the Gill offers kind of thing, because the Gill offers are really tie-ins. All the latest tie-ins episodes, especially the Simpsons one. The Simpsons one pisses me off the most. They've all been overpriced with Gill items that honestly are pretty shit, and they've added those really bad Gill items, which Gill's offering these really terrible things that are usually overpriced. They're usually only donuts. You only get a few cash things. There's not enough cash buildings. Like, Gill offers in the past used to be kind of rare, and there used to be like an occasional donut one, or there'd be an episode tie-in, and you'd get a cool building for free for cash. There's some definite, I'm trying to think of the name of the building, but there was a big, is it the Supercollider? That's it. That was a tie-in, and that's like a really good building, and that's a free building. I think it was cash, but and nevertheless, that was really good for what it was. You get this big building for free, basically. But now the tie-ins are literally just Gill offers, and they're literally just donuts. And the Simpsons one, they could have added Bender, they could have made a really nice event out of it, but they decided not to, and it kind of ended up really shitty. I'm not. They could improve the tie-ins. It just depends on EA really, and if they really want to overcharge people for this kind, they're basically overcharging people, and they want to get as much money as they can, and they add the Gill offers sometimes in events, which annoys me as well, especially for example the Shadow Knight costume, that was at the end of Clash of Clunes. It just popped up, it was a Gill offer, and it popped up. It was okay, but it was overpriced. So we are coming on to number 4. So these are our top 4 now. And this is what I've put, Halloween 2014. Now, again, not a big fan of this Halloween 2014. Again, a lot of people loved it. I personally didn't. Now, here I go. First of all, the crafting thing, okay, it was cool, but I wasn't amazed by it. The whole, the treat bags and all that, it really annoyed me. Okay, so we have the buildings. I mean, we have the Grand Pumpkin, the Pumpkin House. They were all returning anyway. We had Hugo, who was a cool character. You could craft him, and you had the hovercopter, the Bulldozasaurus, the mutant peacock. They're very bland characters to me. They're not actual characters. Hugo was probably the best one they added. We also had the space mutant who came with the theatre. I think it was the theatre, wasn't it? Yeah, unlocks with the driving theatre. Yeah, the driving theatre. Again, really bad choice. They should have had the driving theatre with Troy McClure. I think that would have been perfect. Instead, they added this really shitty space mutant who was literally in a film in the Simpsons. It was really scraping the bottom of the barrel. And the UBO costume was really cool. I love that. The personal prize UBO costume. That was a really that was a really decent one. But everything else, was kind of bad. The whole alien thing, I didn't like it. Some stuff returning, and there was some okay buildings, but overall I wasn't a huge fan of the update whatsoever. I feel like I'm ranting on a bit much. I apologise if I am. So number 3 now, this is actually something where I'm going to be disagreeing with, I think, Apperson. So yeah, I've put the Valentine's Day updates. I really mean all of them. I've put it as 2014, but honestly, I mean all of them when I say it, because 2014, 2013, and there wasn't a 2012 one. But and there was a 2015 as well. Yeah, the 2015 one as well. I guess I'll just throw that in. I honestly didn't like the Valentine's Day updates. I get the whole idea of it. I liked the very first one was okay. Well, it wasn't really, but they added in the Phineas and Q's Butterfats. They added Howard's Flowers, and they added the Put golf course, which eventually became a level building. But those ones made sense to me because they were kind of Valentine's Day ones, especially the Sir Puts a Lot golf course, because the whole Marge and Homer thing. So that made sense to me. But I didn't like the whole wheel thing. I was never a fan of the wheel thing. It really annoyed me. Personally, I didn't like it. I think it was a kind of a bad idea. I always liked the idea. I like the idea of you getting the currency, earning the currency, and then having the choice of what you buy. Not have it randomly selected to you in a wheel, or crafting. I don't like the crafting. I honestly would really prefer if they went back to the original Halloween and Christmas, where they give you the currency and then you have the choice of what you buy. If there's a certain prize you want, then you can earn your way, and you can build your way to get that prize. I honestly hate the wheel. I think it's an awful idea. There was some coolish. The Brandine was a coolish character they added into the thing, and the whole birthday, Whitney and Debray, Spunkler. The fact that she can, after the 90-day task, she can give birth to them. I like that. That was a great character. Mindy Simmons, okay, meh. Madam Chose, it was okay because it was kind of that romancy kind of episode, so that was alright. I didn't mind the characters they added, I just didn't like the whole wheel thing, and the fact is, 2015's one was just shit. I mean, they didn't even bother adding anything apart from a silly little teddy bear in a they didn't even bother with it, which annoys me, because I think Valentine's Day should be an annual update like Christmas and Halloween. So yeah, moving on, we're going to go on to number 2. Great. Number 2, right, so this is where the rant comes in, right. So we have Clash of Clones as number 2. Now it's just literally it's tied with number 1, kind of. I would say it's a tie, but I would say that Clash of Clones is slightly better than the number 1 spot. Slightly. Now Clash of Clones, okay. Now first of all, they tried to do Clash. I guess the whole idea was it was a Clash of Clans, spoof. Now, haha, that's kind of funny, whatever. They could have done it as a small update and it wouldn't have bothered me. But the fact is, they spent this entire update on something which didn't even come from an episode. Like, it's not even like there were a couple of things that came from episodes. The Shadow Knight came from that whole medieval game thing. They could have based the event on the medieval game. That would have made sense. Or, they could have based some of it around the medieval game. I wouldn't have minded that. You know, they could have had Marge's character, they could have had Moe's ugly troll character, and, you know, Skinner's chicken character, and that would have been an amazing costume. Skinner is a chicken, you know, that would have been a really cool costume, and had some really creative, really new, wacky costumes. But instead, they focused it around the Simpsons family, okay, you know, the core family, which is Marge, Homer, Bart, and Lisa. They had the whole, you know, they took the box fort, which wasn't real, but they reinvented it, and it was really bad. They had the whole leveling up system. I hate the leveling up system. It's just stupid and worthless. They have the whole nerds thing, sending the nerds over again. I hated it. Clash of they made it like a little you know, you verse your friends kind of thing. You level up, blah de blah. It's not Tap-Tat's not about that. You know, Tap-Tat was the whole point of Tap-Tat is you build your town. I don't mind mini games because sometimes they can do mini games right. For example, the soccer ball update. That was a really well done mini game. However, the Clash of Clones was god awful, and you know, it added one character, the Barbarian, who was, you know, again, Apperson mentioned in the comment that it doesn't even reset, like it's meant to be his update, but he's not even in it, you know. So it was a really poor update. I didn't like the Clash of Clones update whatsoever. Really hated it, and I wished it would. Literally from the very start of the update, I was wishing it would end already. So now we go to number one. I would do some memorable, like some honourable mentions, but there really isn't anything I can really mention that wouldn't be from my you know, my other list. So I'm just gonna go straight onto it because this is a negative video anyway. It's number one is Easter. Now, Easter for me was a pain in the ass. Now, this is where I had a lot of donuts. I just say that. You know, I have to say I had a lot of donuts, and what they did is they decided to do this thing where you earn certain eggs, and you know, with those you would, I think it was pink eggs and blue eggs, and if you had pink eggs, if you had a lot of pink eggs, you could open a pink box. If you had a lot of blue eggs, you could open a blue box, and the blue boxes were prizes that, you know, in the blue box and the pink box you could earn you know, a token for the gold box. Now, the gold box is where all the decent prizes were. You had, I think, Sherry Bobbins, wasn't it, something like that, the Hugs Bunny, you know, the bunny guy, the hopping bunny, that should have been in the Stonecutters update. You know, they had all these kind of cool prizes as the gold, and then there was some kind of meh prizes in the pink and the blue. Some of them were okay, but the gold prizes were the really good things. And the fact is that you had to, for a start, you had to wait to get these golden eggs. And I think eventually later on in the update they added the fact that you could buy golden eggs. I'm not too sure if they did. I don't think they did, but I don't know. They may have, or they may not have. And you had to get golden eggs, and the gold, you always got a shit prize in the golden box. Like, it was always the same. You always got a really bad prize, and that's what annoyed me, is the fact that even if you had donuts, you would have had to have spent thousands and, like, literally, I remember I would probably say I spent about 2,000 donuts, because I was really wanting everything. I think I spent over 2,000 donuts getting everything in the box, and that was just the boxes, forgetting all the other premium items they added in the update. The whole update in itself was really badly planned. I hate the idea of the wheel system. I even more hated this box system. It pissed me off so much. Like, again, like, I was really contemplating, like, getting some random person to give me all the stuff, and I hate giving people my password and email to hack it for me. I really don't like doing that. I like to do it myself if I'm going to, you know, hack the game. But, you know, overall, it was an absolute god-awful update. I hope they never do anything like it again, because if they do, it will really make a horrible rant video, because I will do one. But, you know, Easter is a good fit. They could do it. They could have made a decent update out of Easter. I think because they've added so much Easter stuff into the last one, they can't really do another one. I mean, they could try it, but I hope they don't really. I think Easter was a thing. They tried and they failed, so I think they should just leave it aside. So anyway, guys, I may do an updated video for both top 10 and top 10 worst and best events. I may do an updated one, like, in, like, the future. When I say the future, I'm probably saying, like, half a year in the future. You know, that far in. If you're still watching my videos, then I may do one there, just because I'd like to cover you know, like top 20 characters, for example. Like, a lot of my characters have been added in top 20 characters. Because remember, Lyle was number 20, right? And he's now like number 13 on my list. Like, I've made a new list. So once Lyle, because I don't think Lyle's getting added in the monorail. Once he gets number 7 at least, I'll redo my top 20 characters, I think, because that will be cool. What else shall I mention? I'm thinking about doing top 10 worst and top 10 best levels. That will be really hard for me to do, but I can do it for you guys if you want. So, you know, suggestions. Any other suggestions? Like I said, I will be doing the Krusty Land and what they should add into Krusty Land as well. So yeah, just tell me your thoughts on what you want, and I shall see you next video. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and share it with all your mates. Goodbye.